We've got to start calling this country the United States of America. And if you don't want to use all those syllables, then you can call it the U.S., because the two letters U.S. spell the word us. And that's what this country is. It is us. It is those of us who have been born and bred or who have immigrated to the United States of America, where we intend to stay united.
I agree with your clarification of the terminology. I also liked a metaphor I heard you say, I think even in the Oprah Winfrey interview, where you said that we are a salad bowl, we are not a melting pot.
We aren't a melting pot. And you put all these different things in a melting pot, and what you come up with is something that's all the same. You melt them down so that they're all the same. That isn't what the United States ought to be. We're more like a stir fry. You put all the pieces in that stir fry, add some sauce to it, stir them all together, add a little heat, and the pieces maintain their identity. They do not have to give up their identity in order to be a part of the melting pot, of the stir fry. I used melting pot until I thought about it a while, and I thought, no, that's not what we want.
Yeah.
We want to be a stir fry.
Yeah.
I had a very fortunate break. I met a serendipitous situation. I met a mentor. His name's Nigel. He was in his mid-50s at the time, and he was very, very successful in real estate. And we went for lunch. And after lunch, after me explaining to him where I was at, I was still this junior. I wasn't really sure what I was doing. I definitely didn't know what I was doing in the world of commercial real estate. And he literally told me he was going to help me. And he took me under his wing. And all of a sudden, I had a successful person teaching me what it takes to succeed out in the real world, and teaching me all these things that...
Could you redact that to like 3 or 4 or 5 things?
I think that the two key ones, the ones that changed my life, so there were so many, but the two most important ones were, from day one, he just instilled in me this thing: you do what you say you're going to do. And he felt so strongly about that. So that
integrity.
was integrity. So that was the first one.
I've studied symbolism. In ancient symbolism, the serpent represented female wisdom. So I was very intrigued by what you represented with the serpent.
The story of heaven and earth is actually an amalgamation of an original thought I had, which is what happens when somebody comes, which I'm really concerned about and still concerned about, comes from another country into Canada or wherever. I'll talk about Canada. And they come here and they haven't even probably met their husband, or they met them online or something, or they've had one brief marriage, and it's if it's in the States, it's a green card, and if you marry somebody immediately, there are reasons. And they come here, and the women come here, and they know nobody. And they are enthralled and held captive, in a way, in this family. Many of them have good husbands. It isn't that all of them are assholes, but many of them don't. And if by any chance there's domestic violence of any sort, they don't even know where to go. So that part was something that I was very intrigued by. And then I saw a play.
Well, not only do they not know where to go, but the family structure they're enmeshed with is not going to help them because it breaks the system.
So Tenori, please share what it meant to grow up Yaqui in South Los Angeles, Arizona, Sonora, and wherever. How have you felt you belonged, since these cities and places, which were your tribal homelands, by right now had geographical and political demarcations that erased, not just ignored your cultural rights to the land. This is in light of our first ever. I'm very sure you're very proud and pleased that you had your first ever Indigenous Peoples Day day and a half ago.
Yes, I was. Hello, you awesome leaders. Tenori here. Well, yes, as Beautiful Queen has just stated, we finally had our first day this Monday. After centuries and centuries of punishment, I will call it. Punishment that was unnecessary. I wouldn't call it war. I wouldn't call it extermination, which is what it was. I would call it punishment.
But I also understand the desire, to consume and get something new. But I'm a big lover of reworking and repurposing.
Well, one of the things I find wonderful is the amount of tailors. Like you can go and repurpose things. You can go and add a bit of embroidery,
Sure.
add vintage buttons, add some ribbon, change the proportion of a blouse shirt hem. Like these are, yes, maybe it's more innate to somebody who's creative, but these are things that are very, very teachable. And people are constantly surprised when I'm like, hey, I just added lace to this sweater. And then they're like, but it's completely different. Yeah, or change it from a sweater that's a pullover to a cardigan. You get so much more use out of it.
Well, I think that also brings into mind the fact that we're very interested in upcycling now.
Yes, thank you.
And I think that's occurring at all levels of luxury. I mean, I do a lot of projects with Dolce & Gabbana, and they've been doing upcycling. I know Etro just had their show yesterday, and they introduced a bunch of handbags that were using upcycled fabric. So I think it's becoming a more popular part of the vernacular of luxury. I'm curious if, like, a Vuitton, which has historically always burnt things that didn't sell, if they're going to start upcycling or doing artisanal collaborations. And
That would seem more conscientious.
I think that's what should happen. Okay, so it doesn't sell in store, or maybe it didn't work. It's like, jewelers don't throw away diamonds.
Exactly,
Like you rework the piece. It's like if the original design didn't work, you take the materials out. And I think it's possible to do that more and more with fashion. And I think that people really want one-of-a-kind pieces.
I agree. One of the things I know, macro, all those are sort of metaphors for why I'm putting myself out there today. My experience in my life with my family, my social dynamics, I think is a reflection of what a lot of people deal with. So I think it's important for us to be open with each other, and that it's through our community sharing and family being open with each other and hopefully becoming more accepting and realistic about our issues, because there is no perfect family. We all come from dysfunctional families. We all have levels of abuse.
Thank you so much for your empathy and for your intelligent questions and for being you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.